Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you in another video. Alright, so walking back to the hotel, went all the way down to where you normally catch the bus to go to the observatory. I figured I'd make it an observatory day, but I waited there for that bus for about 15 minutes in the hot sun and realized I didn't want to sit there anymore. I actually didn't really feel like leaving the house, to be honest with you, but I forced myself to anyway, and got a good sweat, did a nice Laker walk video down Lancashire, and now I'm walking back because, you know, that's pretty much what it's all really about. Climb the stairs on both of those places. I got all the exercise I thought was necessary. My stomach and all of that, my waist area, still a little sore from what I was telling y'all. So I don't think I'm gonna do my hundreds today, but you know, this exercise is good. This is fine. I don't have a problem walking. Sitting down, bending over, squatting, those things feel a little uncomfortable, but laying down also felt a little uncomfortable last night trying to sleep. But you know, this is what it is when you're working muscles, trying to get them back in shape. So it is what it is, man. Hopefully my abs will return. That's really what that is all about. But yeah, man, I figured I'd make a therapy session video since I haven't made one in about a day or so. I have no complaints, just exhausted. Fatigued is really what it is, muscle fatigue. That leads to mental fatigue, I believe, especially at this age. But you know, I mean, I got the willpower to keep pushing. I'm not allowing myself to lay around just because I want to, you know what I mean? Want to doesn't hold the same weight when you get the results of what it is you want, and those results ain't no good. It's like, well, do I really want this, or am I just too lazy to force myself to do what it is that I actually want, which is to get the exercise that's going to give me the result that I want? A lot of wants. What I need to do is just take care of my body, because as you get older, it's much harder to stay in shape, and it's much harder to fend off all the different things that can go wrong with your health. So for me, my most important need is to just eat right to the best of my ability and exercise and sweat as much as I can. So that's really what it is, man. This is what I'm doing. But yeah, man, I guess the latest thing that I've been paying attention to in regards to the situation in Gaza is you know, Israel's being attacked on all fronts, which is par for the course. When you committed genocide, everybody can see you doing it, you're gonna pick up a lot of enemies, man. But of course, no accountability for that, right? It's just everybody's attacking Israel because they're trying to you know, be as peaceful as possible. Now granted, peace for them means terrorizing others, but hey, that's not what you're supposed to be questioning, because you're anti-Semitic if you do that, right? It's just, you know, I mean, this is what happens when you pick a fight with everybody. Everybody's gonna attack you. I don't know why they so oblivious to this understanding. I mean, they bombing like 3 and 4 countries at once and then scurry behind the idea that they're victims. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. No sense. But that's the mentality. So now you see people moonwalking away from them like they're Michael Jackson. The idea is, oh, why are they moonwalking? Why are they not trying to provide us what we're supposed to have? Lately, the latest thing is Macron, who's I'm guessing, although I've never heard this guy before today, the French president. He's essentially saying he's invoking arms embargo on Israel. He's not giving them no guns. He ain't giving them no bombs. He's not sending no more help to them. Now, we on this channel have not forgotten that France was very much fine with Israel about 8 months ago when the number was at a certain point. Yeah, we back them. We're with Israel all the way. Okay, cool. Fast forward, and I guess we reached their threshold for what genocide is acceptable. So, you know, France is doing the moonwalk, but we ain't forgot. Ain't nobody forgot what France has done. Nobody forgot about what France did to Haiti either. We ain't forgot about what France did to anybody. So, as far as I can tell, they're just trying to scurry away because the fire is too hot, and they can see where this is heading. Israel ain't good for business anymore. So, you know, Israel, of course, you got Netanyahu, Malinowski, whatever the hell his name is, old dude from Philly, essentially saying, yo, we gonna win this whatever, with you or without you, France. So, you know, you're gonna go down in history as whatever the hell he's saying. It's a bunch of bullshit. In other words, You're disgraced because you won't help us kill these children. That's essentially what Milanowski is saying. Milanowski from Philly. Well, for me, it's like, no, that's what you're trying to will into existence. That ain't what's actually happening. The truth is, everybody's starting to realize that anybody that lines up next to you is bad for business and ultimately being revolted and boycotted against. So if they got any damn sense PR-wise, they're going to walk away from you and not allow for any of what's going to sink you to sink them. That's what's actually happening there, Israel. Milanowski from Philly. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that Netanyahu talk. I'm not rolling with Netanyahu. That's not his name. His name is Milanowski. From Poland. From Philadelphia by way of Poland. That's who that is. That's why his accent is so American, because he is American. But, you know, it is what it is, man. We know everybody there ain't from there. That's the whole point. Everybody from Israel is not from Israel. That is the Middle East. Ain't nobody from Poland or anywhere the European colonies actually from there. They're just claiming there. They're saying that they're originally from there for like 4,000 years ago, for which they don't want to do a DNA test to prove in the first place. Right. But nevertheless, that's what's going on. So, you know, Milanowski is essentially saying down with France, as if France ain't never helped them before. And you got our president Biden coming up out of his stupor or whatever the hell psychosis he's under, essentially saying nobody's helped, no administration has helped Israel more than us. And so he wants Milanowski not to forget that. And you know, I mean, it's true. I don't know if that hits the way he think it does, but yeah, nobody has helped them more than you have, Biden. You've essentially given them all they need to kill all the people that they've killed over the last year. Yeah, you've taken all of our tax dollars and sent it straight to them. While a lot of people are suffering in various different ways, including that damn storm, you're sending these people all the money they need to do all of the evil they want to do. And that's all it is. So just because you and your cronies have convinced yourselves that's what's righteous and that's what you're under, whatever psychosis Israel's placed you under, the reality is ain't none of that any good, fam. All of that is bad. It's all going down in history as the worst thing to possibly have been. And you are the guy that's helped them the most. You're the biggest one complicit in the genocide of all of these people that they've killed. So, yeah, I agree with you, President Biden. No administration has helped Israel more. You are Genocide Joe. And may we never forget it. Especially when it's time to hold people accountable, when everybody wakes up out of their stupor they're in. When it's time for everybody to go to The Hague, you, Biden, are going first. You should be the first one going to the damn Hague. Followed by every last one of those Congress people that continue to clap for this Milanowski dude as he addresses all of them, telling them what his intentions are to expand Israel and kill everybody else. So, you know, I mean, hey man, if you're wide awake and you're paying attention to what I'm paying attention to, then that's exactly what you want to hear Biden say. You want him to continue to confess to his crimes as the number one person complicit in all of Milanowski's evil intentions. And that is exactly what the truth is. Ain't nobody helped him more than this administration. Sent them billions and billions and billions of dollars to kill very, very innocent, God-worshipping people. That's exactly what's happened there. Regardless of what they tell you or what it is they want you to believe or whatever they're trying to will into existence by way of their mental gymnastics and manipulation, the reality is that my very eyes have shown me that exact statement that I just said. These are God-fearing people that they are killing. And it ain't enough for them to just target these people. They're targeting their children specifically. The aim is to kill the kids. Understand this. The aim is not just to kill Palestinians. It's to kill Palestinian children. And if they happen to kill the grown-ups, then they think that is a plus. But make no mistake about it, these people are aiming for the kids. That's what I want everybody who follows me to understand. They're not just trying to kill Palestinians. They're trying to kill Palestinian children. It's all about killing the minors, man. A minor, all that stuff y'all like to joke about. That is exactly what Milanowski and his band of Z's are trying to do. They target the kids. They target the youth. And so as long as we understand that, then we know exactly what we should be considering when we talk about our own president who's been going along with this nonsense, and anybody that wants to stand up in arms against those who stand up against it. All these evil individuals that want to stand up and say, oh, you're fighting for Palestine, you're the worst person in the world. No. The reality is that is a mental gymnastic lie that you're telling anybody who will listen to further the environment for which it's okay to target children. The reality is we're standing up against that stuff. We're the good guys, you're the bad guys. It's literally what it is. And you can change the definition of terrorism. You can change the definition of anti-Semitism. You can change the definition of love and hate. It ain't going to change the fact that it's still the same thing regardless. It's still you targeting children. And I was listening to something this morning. I wish I remember what it was called. My memory does not serve me. But it was some information that was provided, essentially saying that just like Israel has the they call it, dude, damn, my mind is gone blank. But the way they target their own people for the sake of their intentions, and they have some really cool name for that. Named after a fictional serial killer. I can't think of Hannibal Directive. There you go, Hannibal Directive. Just like they have the Hannibal Directive, they also have something called the Draconian something directive. And essentially what that means is they're targeting innocent people in other places with the intention of, as we said, demoralizing the people who would otherwise come against them in whatever it is they're trying to do. So, and this is a practice they've been doing since they first got into it with Lebanon. Essentially, they attack innocent people as a strategy to demoralize the armies coming against them. And so this is what this is what the evidence is showing us. They just have a name for it. I didn't know that they necessarily had a name for it. It starts with a D, Draconian, something like that. Draconian Directive, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not coming prepared with that, but yeah, they call it something. It's a war strategy. It's actually a war crime. But it's a war strategy, essentially attacking innocent people repeatedly to try to demoralize armies that are otherwise holding them accountable for doing so. And the army doesn't necessarily work as strong because all their family members is being terrorized and targeted. So that's what they do. This is what they do in all situations. All situations. So, and morally, they've warped themselves and brainwashed one another into believing that that is just. Because, of course, above all else, they are chosen. That's their true north, is the understanding that not only are they chosen, but they're better than everybody who's not chosen. And in being better, they have a right to take from you, steal from you, lie to you, and dare you not do anything in regards to defending yourself against that behavior, nor should you perceive yourself as anything less than a terrorist for doing so, because at the end of the day, they're victims. They're victims. In their minds and in their belief and in their religion, because everything that they're doing is just, right? So anything that comes against them is unjust, and thus by default you are a terrorist trying to stop them from doing what they are sanctioned by their Bible and God to do. See how they mess with the definitions of words? It's like, if in my life I have the right to do the worst things to everybody, and I'm above everybody and I'm in control of everybody and everybody must yield to me, I'm not doing anything terroristic. It's terroristic if you do it. It's not terroristic if I do it. So, as that being the default truth, anything after that is labeled as whatever it is. So, for example, I, Israel, kill a bunch of my enemies' children. That is something I'm sanctioned to do by God. I can do that. I'm supposed to do that. That is the functionality of my life. I'm to cleanse the earth of anything that is impure. And anything that is impure is either supposed to bow to me or fall to my reign. I am this. This is what we are, right? And so if you defend yourself against that behavior, you're in the wrong. If you try to stop us from doing it, you're in the wrong. If you try to boycott us because you don't like that we're doing this, you're in the wrong. If you come to the defense of the people we're trying to do this to, you're in the wrong. And this is not us lying about it, because it's a fact. We are chosen. And everything that happens after that is of God. So if you try to get in the way of that, you're getting in the way of what it is we're supposed to do, and you're in the wrong. This is how the Israeli Zionist thinks. This is how the American Zionist thinks. This is how any Zionist thinks. You're in the wrong for trying to get in the way of what God put me on this earth to do, which is cleanse the earth of anything that is not Jew. You're in the wrong, including Jews that would otherwise get in the way of us doing this. Wrong. You see what I'm saying? And by definition of that true north, anybody that does anything that would otherwise disrupt any of what it is that they do, they believe in their heart of hearts that those people are absolutely tyrants and absolutely anti-Semitic and the worst individuals to ever exist on this earth. We have a right in our minds, for example, as Americans, we have a right to do the various things we do. We have the right to, as long as we're not in prison, we could leave the house, go to the movies, whatever we want to do, drive, go to work, come home, raise kids, whatever. Those are our inherited rights, right? In our minds, in this land, those are our inherited rights. In their mind, in their land, their inherited rights is to be greater than everybody else. And everything that trickles down from that gives them the carte blanche to do everything they see fit. And if you try to stop them, you're their enemy. And then in being their enemy, they impose these directives, like the Draconian Directive, Oliver got the name wrong, and the Hannibal Directive, which means they slaughter their own people in the name of keeping you from doing whatever the hell they don't want you to do. And these things are to be understood and agreed upon, because of course we're the chosen people and we have the right to do whatever we want to do. It's wrong if you do it, because you're not chosen. God didn't give you this land. God didn't give you the ability to reign over everyone else. So you don't have a right to do the things we do. If you do the things we do, you're a terrorist, especially if you try doing them with us. But if we do them, we're exempt from being called terrorists because we're chosen, and that is what God wanted. That's God's will. So if I want to do things that everyone else can't do, that's my right. And anybody getting in the way of that is my enemy. And what do we do to our enemies? We kill innocent people to scare them off. That's what they're on. That's what they're on, man. That's what this has revealed to us, what they actually believe, and why they convince themselves so much that they're victims, because in this warped way of living, thinking, and being, they are victims. You see how that works? And we're sitting here all confused like these are crazy maniacs. No, they are doing what they were sanctioned by God to do in their minds. We are all crazy maniacs for doing those things because we're not chosen. We don't have a right to. We're Gentiles. We're not supposed to do any of that. Nor are we supposed to know what the rules are necessarily, because within the book, from what I understand, they're told to keep all of that stuff from us. It's important that they don't tell us what they're doing, that they have a right to do any of these things or what those rights are. But they do reign over us to where if we were to behave that way, we're terrorists and deserve to have our most innocent people killed. I know all of this sounds insane to you all, but the reality is, this is what actually is controlling a good portion of your earth. It's absolute and utter insanity. Deep depravity that's believed in to their core, to every cell in their being. They believe exactly what it is I just described. And as we sit around here trying to figure out how they convince themselves to do it, we don't understand just how deeply rooted all of these things are to them. Deeply rooted. So when you see your favorite Seinfeld or, all these great Zionist comedians that we've seen over the years, Michael Rappaport, like he believes all of this. This is exactly why he has no problem seeing children die, because he's chosen. And it's his duty on this earth to reign, to expand lands, to do to Gentiles what otherwise Gentiles would never be sanctioned to do to him. And if anybody were to threaten his life, then innocent people must die. Must. It's a rule to protect him. So when we sit up here and try to tell him to care